You have a tiki bar and a starlight bar
You got a
right here in
starlight
your
on.
own yard.
Yes.
And who comes in here?
Oh, all my friends, musicians.
So you're kind of a big deal.
I'm kind of a big deal. Well,
I mean, in your own mind.
yeah.
You know, I mean,
yes.
that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, it's just
I think.
because an artist, I need to not need, but I just meet a lot of people, and then they want to see my work, and so I party with them.
So I think we need to get an invitation, Torin.
I'm not dead. That sounds like something interesting.
Rolling.
This is Ron LaVaughn, and first thing, are your teeth in straight?
Yeah,
Okay, if teeth are in straight, we can go.
No, that's up to you guys.
So he's a house painter, used to be, who now paints houses differently, like this.
I do murals.
You do murals. When did you start doing this?
I started this in '04. This tree, because it looks out my kitchen window, and I go, yuck, gray wall. Ooh, I'm an artist. I need something on there, so I just did that.
And we're coming to you from the WIT, and you've seen a lot of changes in the WIT here in Eugene, huh?
I have.
For the good.
Yes, for the good.
Lots of people.
Lots of people.
Kind of a hot spot.
It's now the ferment center of Eugene. I mean, we have so many breweries
and wineries and
now
distilleries.
And, oh man, I like it.
And the best coffee in town, Wandering Goat.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So where do you get the ideas for this stuff?
Oh, they just come from everywhere. I mean, I don't know how I do it. I just go boing, 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 boing. It just things just pop into my head and I go. I always painted all through my life. You know, did cartooning to whatever. So it's just the magical thing of, oh, I want to do some mushrooms, and I just go, wow. Okay.
Now you mean paint some mushrooms?
Yeah, paint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, remember we're on TV there, Ron. Oregon really is a state of mind. Recently, we got to go down to the Heceta Head Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast and spend the night. There was a massive storm. The windows were shaking. Take a look at the Heceta Head Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast. We're at the Heceta Lighthouse Bed and Breakfast, and this is well, you're not the owner, but you're the business owner.
Yes,
And
I own the business.
And go ahead and explain and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the owner of the bed and breakfast, and we operate with a permit from the Forest Service.
How long have you guys been doing this, your family?
Since 1996.
So you started this.
Yes, my parents started it.
They came in and said, we think we could make a go at this.
They were chosen out of 500 couples to make a go at it.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm. It aired on the Portland News that the Forest Service was looking for a couple to help them make it into a B&B. And the next day, my parents took their resume to the Waldport Ranger District and submitted their resume, and they were chosen out of 500 couples.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how old is this house?
It was built in 1892.
And who lived here?
The first assistant and second assistant lightkeepers.
So now how many rooms do you have?
6.
And all queen beds?
Yes.
And how many have their own bathrooms?
There are 4 that have private bathrooms and 2 that share a bathroom.
So is it haunted?
Maybe.
You don't tell people before. Do people always ask you that?
Yeah. No, I lived here for 8 years and I never saw a ghost, but I definitely had some strange things happen. So.
Like what?
Oh, shimmering lights and things falling off counters and doors opening and closing. One time a door was locked by itself on the inside. That was pretty weird. And it's got a slip lock on the back. So it locked itself, went shh, and then went down, and we had to crawl through the window to open it.
So where's the closet that has the ladder that goes up to
The attic?
Because we had friends stay there.
Are there people no one's checked in yet?
Thank you.
Boom!
What is this? The Cape Cove?
Don't encourage people to try to get in there. That was locked for a reason.
And that's where people hear things.
He said he
But is that what makes it fun?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was never scared in that 8 years, or ever.
So you are probably the most photographed landmark in the state of Oregon, really.
I would agree.
Yeah, and you come around that corner and everybody stops.
I know. That's that view.
So I bet it's not hard for you to rent this place.
Not at all. No, we stay booked year round.
When it was an actual lighthouse, was there the duplex?
Was not an opening. There was complete closure right here. So
it was two separate houses?
Two separate houses, it's a duplex. So they had the first assistant and their family lived on this side, and the second assistant and their family lived on that side.
When did they stop using this as a lighthouse?
World War II, it became a Coast Guard station where they trained military dogs and they patrolled the coast. So there was a dog training facility outside, and they tore down the head keeper's home and put up barracks for the Coast Guard men. 75 Coast Guard men were stationed here.
When Kathy and I were driving up here, we were saying, nobody else has this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't make a location like this.
No, this doesn't happen all over the world. And they made it beautiful because it was a really hard existence. You were working, it's a working man's house. It was night and day working on that light. And so they made it nice for them to be able to eke it out in this rugged territory.
Do you think people they crave living in history?
Oh yeah. They love it that we don't have TVs or phones, or if their Wi-Fi doesn't work, it's a good thing. So it's a step back in time, and people like that.
The hottest thing in social media right now is live, and we are doing it like nobody else does. I invite you to join us on my Rick Dancer TV Facebook page. You can follow it or ask to friend it. And usually every day we're doing something live in the community to tell you something new and different that's going on in the community. So, and we don't do news stuff. We're not doing anything bad. We don't do junk. We do good stories. We do stories that are positive, things that are going to affect you, things that are going to make you think. I really hope that if you are on social media that you'll join us over on Rick Dancer TV, usually weekdays around noon, but like I say, we are so busy, we are on anytime, so just hit the button on there that says notify you and we'll be there. So thanks again for watching Rick Dancer TV, and join us over on Get Real with Rick Dancer.
So yeah, when I took over Mazama, I did so more as a business venture. And I didn't have a lot of the knowledge that was required on the actual hunting and fishing side. So it's been a real adventure learning the hunting and the fishing, and learning what our customers really love, what their passion is. I'm the halibut fishing. You're sitting there waiting for the halibut to find the bait. It's not like tuna fishing where you're on the go all the time. The tuna we were hand lining in, you can use poles, but we find that it's easier to hand line them in. They're not too hard to pull in. They're smaller fish. They're very fast. They can swim up to 60 miles an hour. It's a lot like a barn door, reeling up a barn door. I was spoiled with electric reels, so I didn't notice it as much, but for a lot of folks, it'll wear your arm out trying to get those big fish in. Well, here we are, guys. We had a good trip out here in Newport, Oregon. Caught our 4 halibut in about 6 hours. 159 incher, 2 50 inchers, and 136 incher. So can't complain about that. Fishing's good. Fish on, guys. I'm learning what their passion is, and I'm loving it. It's becoming my passion. I'm looking forward to an elk hunt this fall. I'm excited about that myself.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people.
Every month, Ranchito Grill teams up with Rick Dancer TV to give away 2 free dinners to some lucky winner. All you got to do is go into Ranchito Grill, have dinner, fill out your name, your phone number. We'll draw once a month and call you and let you know right here on the show if you are the winner.
What sets me apart from other agents in the area is that I'm reliable, responsive, and relaxed to work with. Hi, I'm Katie Hallert from Equinox Real Estate and the Hallert Real Estate team. I'm here in Eugene, Oregon. I'm passionate about what I do because when it comes down to it, I'm a really good problem solver. What makes my team unique is that we have buyer's agents who also are listing agents.
Hi, I'm Angie Smith. I would recommend Katie any day of the week, and she was my go-to choice for real estate because she knows what she's doing. She values you as a person, and because of that, you'll get the right thing.
You can contact me at katie@equinoxrealestate.com or directly by texting me 541-285-0040, or you can also call as well.
Hi, I'm Craig Sanders. I'm the president of Hoagland Properties, and we own the River House Inn, which we're in the breakfast room at the River House Inn right now. We're talking with Rick Dancer. This place is a boutique property. We have 40 rooms, 22 of them on the river, 2 spa rooms, really nice balconies overlooking the river with the view of the dunes and the bridge and the wildlife you see on the river. Well, we have 2 spa rooms, one upstairs, one downstairs. They're a little larger than the standard room. They've got a real nice 2-person hot tub in there. We've got the full bathroom, closet, big bed, roomy room, extra table and chairs in there. Of course, it's got the balcony overlooking the river. And then we have a romance package we put together at both of our properties, where if a guest wants to have a little extra fling for their evening, they have a choice of sparkling cider. We can also arrange to get wine and flowers. We have truffles. Our staff has done a real nice job learning how to do the towel art for folding the towels into swan-like figures.
And you have really comfortable mattresses.
Thank you,
really
Rick.
know that matters.
Good,
especially
yeah.
as I get older. But man, it was a good, comfortable sleep.
Well, thank you. We spend a lot of time kind of testing and researching things like that. In fact, is right now we're going through a testing period of trying to replace all of our pillows. This is a place you can kind of settle in here, park your car, and walk to everything you might want to see within Old Town. But then it's right next to the coffee shop, which is my favorite place. And then we're within walking distance of all the best restaurants, shops. And then we're just a short drive to the dunes, to the beach. If you want to go to the casino, they have a shuttle for the casino. We've got, we have 17 lakes here. If you're into fishing or sports, whether it's sand or water, the beach, we've got it.
Farmer Mike tells me that they eat a mixture of hay, oats, and grains.
So this is the Literacy Project, and it's one of several programs that Ag in the Classroom has to help engage children in instruction about agriculture.
Farmer Mike says there are a few more things to do to the milk.
The story of Oregon agriculture is making a comeback. Thanks to the program Oregon Agriculture in the Classroom and to more than 700 volunteers, including volunteers from Oregon Women for Agriculture.
Children, families, people are getting so much further removed from agriculture, and it's not just one aspect. It's not just farming. It's not just where their food comes from, but where their clothes are made.
Our clothes is made of fiber, right? Who all wears clothes? We all all wear clothes.
Where the wood comes to build their homes, seafood and fish and shrimp, it's all encompassed in agriculture.
Oregon Agriculture in the Classroom reaches 200,000 students in Oregon. The literacy part of the program brings volunteers from Oregon Women for Agriculture into local classrooms to share the story.
It is just one piece of our program. So there's so many different ways that we're engaging students with agriculture. So what we are doing is we're helping teachers to incorporate agriculture topics within their classrooms. So we're not having one more thing for these teachers to do, but rather using agriculture as a lens to teach social studies, to teach science, to teach reading. So helping provide them with resources so that they can do that in a meaningful way, while also helping their students to understand a little bit of Oregon agriculture.
Oregon Women for Agriculture finds a real connection with its mission in the literacy aspect of the program.
If I can come into a classroom and I can teach a kid that their food still comes from the soil or their milk still comes from a cow, then I'm helping that dairyman or that farmer get one touch closer in a positive light to our next generation. This is huge. One of our biggest things is to educate. So to promote, to educate, and to unite.
A Guernsey, a Jersey, and a Holstein.
So this is the biggest education piece where we get to go out, boots on the ground, and spend some time with these kids. And if they take just one thing of that, and they go home and they share it with their parents, or their friends, or other family members, then we've reached even more folks, which is how it all begins.
What we offer is a source of news that can be trusted. It's in an era where everybody's trying to be the first to get the news out. We actually do some research and talk to the sources and get the story and all the details behind the story.
What I will tell you, about our food is that we prepare everything from scratch. So we make sure we hire people that have the passion for making food. That's one of the ingredients. The other one, we make sure that our recipes, they use the ingredients that we tell them to use. And before we put it into the market, we make sure we test, try it. What I love about this business is the people. I'm a people person, so I love to interact with people.
Back in the 90s, I think it was 1993 or so, I met a gentleman who built his own lighthouse down by Yachats, right on the Oregon coast. We're going to go back in time to my old KEZI days and show you the man who meant so much to me. His name, Jim Gibbs.
I think it's a little bit of heaven, really.
There is something about the ocean that draws us.
I never lived out of sight of salt water.
Jim Gibbs is as close to it as anyone. It was 1973 that he and his late wife Sherry were looking for a place to build their lighthouse on the Oregon coast. They found this spot.
Just as we were going out the door, he says, well, there is a place just south of town here that you might want to look at. It's like a jungle, though. You can't get in there.
They did get in there. Jim's fascination with lighthouses satisfied once again.
Well, I guess it goes back a long way. I, of course, got real interested in them when they sent me to Tillamook Rock.
Terrible Tilly, as sailors and lighthouse keepers like Jim used to call her. Tilly is just south of Seaside.
You learn the hard way. I'd never lived in an isolated position before, and the first couple of weeks I was thinking about jumping into the ocean and trying to swim the mile and a half to shore.
That isolation stuck with him. He quietly lives on the cleft of the rock, reading books on shipwrecks and maritime history, and keeping the lights on for the fishermen.
We get a lot of good reports from commercial fishermen saying how they appreciate the fact that we have a light here, because rather than depending on it for navigation, they take their bearings on it at night.
He watches the sea.
The sea itself is like the moods of a woman, changing all the time. And the sunsets and the storms, the gales, the winds and the calm, they all become a part of you.
Jim says it's the inconsistency of the ocean that attracts us. Its unpredictability gives her just enough edge to intrigue.
Well, the ocean is beautiful to look at, wonderful to see, but you realize that it's a place of death, too.
Jim's home is like thumbing through the pages of history, shipwrecks and maritime history, moments long forgotten by most, forever captured in artifacts and photos.
The main reason they survive is they have become monuments. It's like an old sailor.
And then there is that lighthouse, his lighthouse.
And I think people like them because they're peaceful. There's nothing wrong about a lighthouse, if you know what I mean.
For the most part, the lighthouse has outlived its purpose.
And the original purpose of them was to save souls at sea.
Jim thinks they still provide light to save souls, but the light provided is to our past, his past.
And I've never accomplished anything great. I've never done anything that I can brag about, but I feel at peace in my heart.
A landmark, a beacon, a light that still shines brightly in the darkest spot.
Old lighthouse keepers their lights just slowly go out.
Back when they were planning lighthouses to be put along the Oregon coast, Cape Perpetua was scheduled to have one, but it never got built until Jim moved in. That's why he put it here, and his lighthouse is officially recognized by the U.S. Coast Guard.
Up through, there's a woodshed right there. Start with a woodshed right here. Ish.
Oh, so you painted all this too?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I'm back in the 70s.
Yes, well.
Credibility is huge. I mean, you put the facts together and you tell the story, the complete picture, then that builds your credibility. Trust is key, because if they don't trust what it is that you're doing every single week, then they're not going to subscribe to the paper, they're not going to buy the paper, they're going to look for other sources to find the news that they want.
So I'm walking about with a backpack and a sack full of jack, trying to catch a train headed out west. Whoa, and you know I'm so high, so high. I've been looking for a man who promises sweet deals and cheap thrills. So I jump up on my train and I sit down what I own. 'Cause you know I can get used to my new home, babe.
It's early morning near Pacific City, Oregon. The dory fleet is out in full force. Hundreds of fishermen fishing for silvers, halibut, tuna, rockfish, and the big one.
So you're the official photographer for the dory fleet?
Official according to them, yeah. I was out here one morning and I took some shots of the boats, and when I got them home I decided I needed to do more.
For more than 100 years, this one-of-a-kind harbor has been home to dorymen.
And it's entirely unique to the rest of the world. There's no other place quite like this that has a harbor like this where they launch and land on the sand, and they don't have docks and slips.
The dory fleet is alive and well in Pacific City.
Actually had a resurgence in the last few years. There's been a resurgence, there's been more boats built.
For 4-year-old Roy and his brother, this is what they do. There's no fear.
And then I'm gonna dump you, okay? Because I bet you if I hit you now, we'll just hit the dry sand. You guys ready? Some salmon? All right.
Dad's gonna dump you.
At about 2 years old around here, they put a life jacket on them and take them in the boat, and they're not afraid, and then they never are after that. They love the boat and the fishing so much because their dad told them that it's their boat too. And he said, I hope they let me go when I'm older.
And once fishing is in your blood, you will always be a fisherman. Sandy Weedman discovered Pacific City fishing with her dad more than 60 years ago.
It's changed a lot. There used to be 2 sporting goods stores, what was it, Hungry Harbor, Wilma's, and
Sunset Bay.
Sunset West.
West, yeah.
And that was about it.
Now, she does what she can to help the fleet.
I don't live here, but I live in Salem, but I'm here on the weekends, only because there's more boats for me.
The record breaker is always the big story, and this guy is today's winner.
Going to?
So, Torrin, I think I'm going to read something for the end. Something that I read out of a book, out of Beartown, this book I'm reading. Hate can be deeply stimulating emotion. The world becomes easier to understand and much less terrifying if you divide everything and everyone into friends and enemies, we and they, and good and evil. The easiest way to unite a group is not through love, because love is hard, it makes demands. Hate is simple. Frederick Backman, author of Beartown.